Hey, what's up? Paul Ingram here. In today's training, we're taking a look at how to develop more power in your Kali stick fighting, so that way you are delivering the most devastating, most effective strikes onto your opponents. So let's go ahead, grab our rattan, and let's train. When it comes to striking with power, there's a few key components that we need to have that we are working into our mechanics. So it takes some coordination to develop these mechanics. That's why you're gonna have to do a lot of training. Let's go ahead and just knock out a few of them. It's gonna be some great tips, pointers that's gonna help you out. And as you're training in about a week, 2 weeks, you're gonna start seeing some great development into your power, right? You're gonna see some good results. All right, so let's go ahead and kind of kick it off with the first thing is that we wanna make sure that we are gripping the stick correctly and that we are striking with the proper area of the stick. I want you to think of your stick as an edged weapon. So your knuckle line right here is going to represent where that blade edge would be, and this is the part, even when we're striking with a stick, that we want to strike with. The reason for that is that we have proper structural integrity in the wrist, in the form, and in the grip. This is going to be really important, really essential when it comes to increasing your power in your Kali stick fighting. The second ingredient is to make sure we're starting our strikes from a full chamber position or a fully loaded position. Once we develop this mechanic, then we can start looking at shortening the power or shortening the arc of the strike. But in the beginning, when you're looking to really develop and maximize your power development, you gotta strike to the full potential of the strike. And it's the only way that's really gonna work, and it's going to fast track your power development. So you wanna start off at this full chamber, full loaded position, and that's what we're striking from. So we got that chamber of that one, strike, chamber of the two, and strike, all the way there. Component number 3 that I wanna give you today is making sure that we have proper hip and shoulder rotation. Okay, we have to rotate the torso. One of the most common things I see in my beginner students when they first start training with me is that they're striking with all arm. It's just arm, like this, okay? And this may provide a little ding, maybe a little bit of a bump and a bruise on your opponent, but it's not necessarily gonna be enough to really cause some damage so you can do a lot of good follow-up strikes or enough damage for you to get out of the situation if it was a self-defense situation. You gotta strike hard, you gotta strike fast, and you gotta suppress fire. So we need this rotation in the hips and shoulder, in the torso, to generate more torque, to generate more power, more speed and momentum onto the weapon, which will transfer over to power. So we want to make sure we got this good rotation in the hips and shoulders, just like this, okay? So when we're striking, our angle 1 and our angle 2, our angle 1 being that forehand, our angle 2 being that backhand, after we strike the 1, we want to make sure we're looking over our right shoulder. Now don't over rotate either. You don't want to be looking over your back. That's bad position. Okay, so we don't want to over rotate where it puts us in bad position. But we do need to rotate the torso to generate that speed, that momentum, and that power transfer. Boom, right there. When we strike that angle 2 with that hip and shoulder rotation, we should be looking roughly over our left shoulder here. Okay, so 1, 2, right there. 1, 2, 1, 2. So work this out, work these mechanics out. Make sure you're focusing on these specific mechanic principles. Just work this, get some reps in. So this is just a few of the striking mechanic principles that we teach here at Kali Center. If you want all of the striking mechanic principles, all 12 that we teach, you gotta click the link down below in the description below and head over to KaliApex.com. So that way you get into our online school, you can train with us step by step. We got a lot of great instructional videos that are exclusive over there, only found in our online school, and we break down all of the striking mechanics and how to develop your strikes, how to develop proper technique, all that good stuff. If you click on the link to Kali Apex, then it's going to take you over to KaliApex.com, and that's going to show you exactly how you can get into the entire online school, access everything, all my training courses, all of the instructional videos, all at a super sweet discount rate. But you got to click the link below so that way you can go redeem that discount, all right? So make sure you get these reps in. You want to get your 1 and your 2. So get these reps in right here. Again, make sure that you're focusing on the structural integrity of the wrist. You're striking with the proper area of the impact weapon. Make sure, number 2, that you are starting your strikes from a full chamber position. Bop, bop. So that way you're getting a full arc of your strike. Okay, the most potential of your strike. And then make sure you're getting that full hip and shoulder rotation. Rotating on the 1 rotating on that angle 2. Okay, just like this. So 2 methods of training here to develop your power. Number 1, make sure that you are training in the air. Okay, you are isolating, no impact training. You are just isolating these mechanics. You're developing your form, your technique. Very important. The better your form is, the better your technique is, the more power you're going to be able to deliver in your Eskrima sticks, in your stick fighting. If you skip that part and you just go to impact training, then you're not bringing form and proper technique to your impact training. Impact training does something different on the other side of power, but the generation of power comes from proper form and proper mechanics. So make sure that you're doing that work. And then part 2, or the second method of training for power development, is impact training, but we're focusing on a couple different things here when we're doing our impact training. Okay, so number 1, impact. Power is not necessarily only at the exact moment of impact. Where you're going to get a lot of that power transfer into the target is by the follow through of the strike. We want the power to go through our target, and this is where the follow through is very important, and this is what we're developing on the impact training, is the follow through of the strike. Right there, the ability to strike through the target and transfer that power, transfer that energy, not just to the point of impact, but all the way through the target. Okay, so we strike our 1 and strike our 2 right there. Now another little key point when we're doing our impact training. Now you can train with Bob just like this. You can do impact training on a heavy bag. You can do it on a tire stack. If you have access to these different elements, these different things that you can use for striking, train on all of them because they all provide a different kind of resistance. If you had to pick one, tire stack's probably going to be the best. It's the most solid. It offers the most resistance, so you need a better follow through. But right now I got Bob, so we could also work some targeting as well. Now the thing is with the impact training is that I want you to focus on pulling your strikes and not pushing your strikes. I want you to pull the strike through, pull it through, not push like this. We're not striking on a straight line, okay? We're striking on an arc in Kali. On the slashes of Kali, these strikes are on an arc. They're not on a linear line. So don't push your strike. Okay, this is disengaging the weapon. It's disconnecting the weapon, the strike, the mechanics from your body, and it's separating your hand and your torso. You need your body to be working as a single unit. So this is where the pulling of the strike, you're pulling it through that arc. This is going to give you a better, cleaner, faster, and more powerful follow through. So pull your strikes. Pull the 1, pull the 2. Pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it. So you're going to notice that when you're pulling, you're getting a better rotation that's going with the orientation of the strike. We focus on these diagonal strikes first because you can develop a lot of mechanic. You develop a lot of power. They're very powerful strikes, and they have the most striking surface. Okay, so that's why we focus on the diagonals first. Okay, we don't only use diagonal strikes, okay, but get a couple rounds in of impact training on your 1s and 2s. Let's shift gears here on our strikes. We work a lot of the diagonal strikes, so let's take a look at working some of these horizontal strikes. Horizontal strikes are really good for power development because they really help to generate that rotation in the hips and shoulders. Rotating on that horizontal plane, that is so key and important to developing that torque. Okay, so we can do that. So 1, backhand horizontal, or you could also work your forehand horizontal and then your angle 2. You can also just strike on the horizontals if you'd want to as well. But we want to make sure we are working horizontal strikes because again, it's going to help emphasize the rotation in the hips and shoulders. Make sure that you are still paying attention to all those other striking mechanics that we talked about. Make sure you got proper structural integrity in the wrist, so that way you are striking with where, you know, if this was a blade, it would be with the blade edge, okay, not the flat. So that way we're striking with the proper hand and wrist position. And then also make sure that you are pulling your strikes through those arcs, okay? It's still an arc. Okay, we're not striking on a linear line going straight forward. I wanted to talk about the horizontal strikes in this because another thing that we can do, another technique that we can utilize to increase our power exponentially is what we call double force or a double grip. And this is where we have the hand over grip, just like this. So the left hand's gonna go over the right wrist. So we can strike this on the one and then boom, come back with that horizontal just like that. One, bam, horizontal. One, boom, horizontal. You can strike your regular one and then pop right there with that double force backhand horizontal. Okay, you can also strike this here, boom, on that downward diagonal as well. So you can work this out, 1, 2, right there, and you're gonna notice a massive increase in your power. All right, so right there, you got 1 and boom, 2 right there. Let's go ahead, take it over to Bob and get a little bit of impact training in. Yeah. So all the ingredients, everything is exactly the same. Strike the one, boom, right there, double force, right there. Boom, right there. Boom, 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 right there. Very powerful shots, very devastating. You're not gonna wanna receive it. Your opponent's not gonna wanna receive it, but it's the type of power you're gonna wanna deliver and give to your opponent in your Eskrima stick fighting. For today's training, I wanna give you at least one more method of training that you can do to increase your power. If you do this training, this will increase your power 10x. Within a week, you will already notice differences in your power development in your Eskrima stick fighting, all right? Make sure that you got a rattan Kali staff. The staff is a great training tool to develop even more power in your Kali stick fighting because it is elongating the arc of the strike, which puts more emphasis on what you need to put in your body mechanics. Okay, so here's a couple drills that you can do that's gonna really help you out. We're gonna focus on the rotation of the angle one first. You wanna make sure that your staff is long enough that the follow through of the strike, the staff is gonna hit the ground. So from right here, I want you to choke up on it and strike your one, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like that. All right? Strike that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're pulling with your right hand and you're pulling at the same time with your left hand to really maximize the speed and the momentum within this arc. And you're getting your entire torso, not just the right side of your lat, your right lat, but you're engaging your left lat as well. So you're getting all that power that you can possibly generate from your torso through that arc. So from here, okay? Then do the same thing on the angle 2. Right there. And get some rounds of that in. Get like 10 1-minute rounds in every single day. If you can, do it twice a day. Do it once in the morning and then do it once again in the evening. 10 rounds of your angle 1, 10 rounds, 1-minute rounds of your angle 2. Okay? And you want to make sure, again, that your staff is long enough to hit the ground because you're going all the way through with the strike. So all the concentration of the mechanics is driving an extension of that arc all the way. Boom, right there. And that's what you want. Okay, you don't want your staff to be too short where it kind of misses the ground right here because, you know, it's kind of the same arc as if I was just striking with a regular stick. We want that arc to be extended through the ground. This is also going to help you develop better follow through on your strikes. Boom, right there. Make sure you're using a rattan staff. The staff needs to be able to bend. Don't use a hardwood staff here. Again, I'm going to repeat, you need the staff to be able to bend. If you do not have a rattan Kali staff just like this, head over to our online store over at trigonalgear.com. You can also access our online store if you go to our main site, kalicenter.com, and you can pick up a traditional rattan Kali staff just like this. And then you've got the right training tool to train this and really take your Eskrima stick fighting power to a whole nother level. This drill right here will 10x your power development. When you go back down to that single stick, you're gonna have so much better and so much more power in your mechanics. All right, I really hope that you enjoy this one. I hope you try out some of these training tips and that they help you out. Let me know in the comments, or if you have a little clip of you working your training over on Instagram, make sure to tag us over at Kali Center on Instagram. We'd love to see your training over there. You can tag us in your stories, tag us on your post, and we'd love to watch your power development happen over time. All right, let's check out your training. We'd love to see your training. Let's close out this training segment today by using the staff to knock Bob around a little bit with some power.